This round's AFL Record print edition is available on game day at newsagents, Coles and Coles Express. Also online via afl.com.au, the AFL app, sen.com.au and the SEN app. Proudly part of our Top Sport, official wagering partner of the AFL Record. Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858.
Welcome back to Sports Day Badge and Sats here, and everything being wrapped up from last night and getting ready for another big round of the NRL. Kevy Walters joins us, the Broncos coach, fresh off a last start win. How you going, Kevy?
Yeah, going really good, thanks, guys. Yeah, we've had a bit of a reset from the bye 2 weeks ago into Origin 2, and then we had the bye last week as well, so we're pretty fresh and ready to go.
Bit of a spring in the step, getting that win, getting a Tony Staggs back, and things are sort of starting to look a lot better at Red Hill.
A little bit better, Badge. Yeah, certainly Katoni is a big inclusion for us. He's obviously missed the whole season to date, and his presence. He's one of those players like the really good players. They lift those around them as well and bring a lot of confidence to the group. Well, I know that was the case from the coaching staff, and certainly his performance. He was only on the field for 50. That was a plan with him. And again this week, you get limited minutes, but we'll just get him out there and get him rolling. Will be a big bonus for the Broncos.
Yeah, he will. And some news out of the club today that Jake Turpin has re-signed for another till the end of next year. You knew about that, Kevy, didn't you? They're including you in all that, aren't they? Yeah,
that's all good, man. Yeah, Jake, he's been really solid for us this year, in the hooking role. And again, it's good to have him on board for another 12 months. He's tidies up a lot of work, a lot of that tough work around the middle of the field, and he gets through it every week. He's not a real big fella. He's only probably 83, 84 kilos, but he plays well above his weight, and he's very popular amongst the players as well. So it's great to have his signature, for another 12 months.
Kevy, you just mentioned having that win against the Sharks and having the week off. Was it good to have the weekend off, or in a perfect world you've liked to kept playing and just try and continue that momentum, or was it good just to sit back and look at what happened?
I guess that we'll know a better answer to that, Sunday night after we play the Tigers. But we did create some momentum, against Cronulla. I thought Cronulla played really well themselves, and they showed their class, last week by getting another victory. So it's one of those things. I guess when you win, you want to keep going, but they've been a bit few and far between the wins this year. So we like to try and keep the momentum rolling if we can, and that'll be the case for us, on Sunday against the Tigers.
Now, it's also good as a coach, Kevy, to be able to play plays in their favoured positions. I suppose I'm alluding to Jermaine Asako, so effective on the wing, and although he does a great job at fullback, probably more suited to the wing, but allowed you to unleash Tessie New in that game against the Sharks, and he was outstanding. Is that his future position, do you think, the fullback position?
Tessie certainly, for the time being. He's improved each week in his role there. He came through the junior ranks as a fullback, so it's not a position that is new to him as such, but obviously in the NRL you get really exposed in all areas, and fullback in today's game, it always has been for that matter, but even more so today, it's a real focal point for teams both in defence, and attack, and I'm sure that Gary Belcher would agree with me there. The fullback role now is so important in teams, and you see those, top 3 or 4 teams, their fullbacks are the best in the game. So, it's no coincidence for mine.
What do you mean now?
Yeah.
Gee.
Kevy,
you were Raiders fullback.
Time,
you were Raiders fullback back in the day, Kevy, in a few games there. Outstanding at the back.
I certainly was. I filled in for your Badge. I made what I thought was one of my greatest ever tackles as a fullback, or in any position, down at Seaford Oval one day
against Canterbury?
Against the Bulldogs. Unfortunately, against them, you're out injured, getting some treatment on that little finger of yours or something. But, I made this terrific tackle, and the Bulldogs crowd got up and started clapping. I was like, geez, must have been a great tackle. Anyway, I tackled Terry Lamb, but it was over the try line. So
you and Ivan Henjak would have got lost in the long grass at Seaford, wouldn't you? It was that long.
We would have done, yeah. But it's a tough position to play, Badge, isn't it? Particularly with the pressure on fullbacks today. So they've got to have a lot of things going in their kit bag, with organising defence and then running a lot of the attack as well, catching the high balls. All sorts of things that come into their artillery. So, he's doing a good job for us, Tessie.
It's good, because I think some of those young blokes, you can overburden them at times, and the expectation is that they're going to do everything. But I reckon if you're free to let them someone like him, just play the way he normally plays, he's going to do a great job for you, Kev. And how are you going, mate? What a bloody tough start to the year. I know you sound a bit better now, but I've seen you a few times on the box, and you've been really battling with it. Did you expect it was going to be as hard in the furnace of coaching the NRL and your side not going well?
Yeah, look, I knew it was always going to be difficult. I thought we could have scraped a couple more wins, by now. A couple of games come to mind. Was that one up in North Queensland? Even the Penrith game, we had that one sort of level with 5 minutes to go, and then Cleary jumped into gear. So there's been a couple that are more wins I thought we could have manufactured as such, but they hasn't to be. But yeah, look, it's a tough gig. There's no doubt about that, coaching. But it's been a lifelong dream of mine to get myself into this position. So I'm really enjoying all the challenges that it brings, and I'm looking forward more so now than ever to the next 7 games or 8 games that we have to finish the season. I believe we can finish the season on a real high, which will whet our appetite again for season 2022. Yeah.
Do you have someone there mentoring you, Kevy, or someone you can unload on that can help you through all this? Just to make sure that.
Yeah, I got a dog that he's copped a bit of a hiding this year. The poor old Benji. We've got good support around.
Yeah, it's good.
Good support around the stage. And you need that as a coach.
Yeah.
Certainly. And the Broncos, since Dave Donaghy has come into the building, he's been there a few months now. He's been a great resource for me to bounce things off, and it's a great support as well. And we've got Ben Eichen in there now as the general manager of football, and Benny's been great for us as well. Just taking off, I felt in that opening 15 rounds, I was just getting dragged everywhere because of the turmoil inside the club, and I couldn't really just focus on the coaching side of things, which is actually what I'm paid to do. It might sound silly for your listeners, but we were just sort of getting dragged everywhere. But now it's a lot more settled with our roles, and I'm getting into the coaching much more, which is something that that's what I'm good at.
Kevy, when you
allegedly,
Kevy, when your first year of head coaching and you bring in your assistants, Johnny Cartwright, Terry Madison, you know a lot about the guys. You spent a lot of time with them over the years. You've been maced together with Johnny Cartwright in 1990. But in your first year, is it hard to delegate? Is it easy for you as a coach to delegate to your assistant coaches?
That's the reason why we've got the 2 experienced guys in with Matto and Cardi. They've both coached at the highest level. They've been assistant coaches, and of course they've all played at the highest level and both won premierships, so they know what success looks like. And and I guess more than anything else, people of really strong character, which is something that I support, really heavily. So they've been great for me and taking a lot of the heat off as such with their character and the way that they like to coach. So we've got a good mix in there. Kurt Richards is the other guy that is in our coaching mix. He's been at the Broncos for a few years now, and he's the organiser of the older guys as such, and he's doing a great job too. So we've got a good little combination going, and as I say, we want to finish the season off really strongly. We've got some with COVID now. We've got most of our games will be up here in Queensland, either at Suncorp or down at the Titans or up at Sunshine Coast Stadium. So that's a big advantage for us, I see.
Now, it's great when you've got players that come up with individual efforts and you can use that as motivation for those little extra efforts. And Payne Haas, as a young man, the things that he's doing for a big man and the amount of work that he does, but the effort at full time versus Sharks, chasing the breakaway player, diffusing the infield kick right on full time, was that highlighted in the video session after that?
Yeah, it certainly was. I actually made mention of it after the game. It's just one of those things that you just see in certain players, and they continue to do them, don't they? The great ones, they continue to show up unexpectedly. That was certainly the case for Payne. If you look at the clip properly, he's actually organising the fullback on his run back, to save the play. So he's been great for us, Payne. And there's some talk around last week about him possibly signing a 10-year extension at the club, which is something that I'm sure the club will look at with open eyes. Because he's been one of our shining lights this year, and it's great to see him. I know I'm not a New South Wales fan by any stretch, but it was good to see him get a little victory there with the Origin series. I could see the maturity that he brought back from being in that New South Wales side, and the energy and the drive and the commitment to excellence that he brought back from those camps was really good for the Broncos. So, that's been the bonus for us with Payne being involved in the New South Wales side this year. He's come back really confident and playing some great footy as well, which is what it's all about.
Will those Origin blokes back up? Payne Haas, Xavier Coates and Tom Flegler, who was on debut last night?
They will if they're at the Broncos, Badge. Out you go, Tef. Out you go. Rip in again. Of course they will, Badge. Yeah. We need our best players on the field, mate. So, I remember we talk about this and what resting players and the like, but, they all want to play. Payne Payne played about 39 minutes last night. Flegler I think he was about 16 or 17 minutes. So, and Xavier, wingers, they just back up all the time, don't they?
Oh, it's just a holiday out there.
He got belted, the poor bugger.
He did.
He had a pretty rough night.
He runs a bit upright, Kevy. Just tell him he's got to give a bit of a dip when he runs.
He's got to lower his body height.
He does.
Yeah.
Tavita Pangai Jr., mate, what's he doing? Is he on the move? What's going on? We keep hearing he's going to be, now he's going to be snapped up by someone else.
Well, at the moment, we're a bit unsure on that, Badge, but obviously he's unavailable to play for us for the next 2 weeks anyway because of his suspension. He got a 3-week suspension for that tackle that he did. So, there is some stuff happening behind the scenes, but I try and stay away from that now. That's for our recruitment officer and Dave and Ben Eichen to worry about. My job is to coach the team, and right now Tavita is unavailable for selection for the next 2 weeks anyway. So we've got to get on with life without him in the short term, and for the long term, I'm not really sure, mate, what's happening there in that space.
Now, your opponent, West Tigers, are one of many New South Wales teams that have had to move, Kevy, to southeast Queensland and isolate. Do you think it's going to help or hinder their initial preparations, these Sydney teams?
Yeah, well, that's to be seen. I mean, the Storm we saw last year with their move up to Twin Waters, it galvanised them and steeled them up. So I guess each team and each club will handle things differently, and it is a critical part of the season as well, isn't it, coming into the last 8 rounds or 9 rounds. So a lot of these teams will be looking to improve themselves on the ladder, and there's a real. I mean, obviously the top 5 or 6 teams are, they've clearly defined themselves. But there's a real battle for that position 7 and 8 amongst a lot of clubs. So, the next month of footy is going to be, very exciting. I think from every regard, from all those teams scrambling to get into the 8, and those scrambling like ourselves to get off the bottom of the ladder, and those, of course, at the top wanting to maintain their stay in a healthy place as well.
Yeah, it does. It gets exciting to run home after State of Origin. Kevin, you've been involved as a player many times now, as a coach. So all the best, mate, for the last couple of months of the NRL season.
Yep.
Great talking to you on Sports Day.
Yeah, nice we can get back on the line with you guys. We get a win, we're back on air. That's the way to do it, fellas.
Yeah, well, you won't talk to us.
Winners anyway,
you brush us after a loss. It's been a while since we've spoken to you.
Hey, Badge, what about that old footage we were watching not long ago? It was Kevy and Ivan Henjak just wreaking havoc.
Oh, they were great, mate.
Yeah.
When Mel was out, I was out. There was a few players out, and they were just, what they called the mighty midgets or something. Champions.
Yeah, I played a lot in the centre in those days.
Yeah, you did too, yeah.
Quite surprised a lot of people.
Good play.
I picked up I think it was a double or a hat trick at Leichhardt Oval. The late great Peter Jackson put me over a couple of splendid tries through that period. So, it was a lot of fun down at the Raiders.
The good old days. Good on you, Kev. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, guys.
Righto, this is Sports Day for the Kia Sorrento Drive Car of the Year.